Good morning, Westminster Unitarian Church.
Good morning.
And Happy New Year to each of you. What a joy it is to be together on this first day of 2023, a New Year's morning gathering indeed. How good it is to be together. Westminster Unitarian Church endeavors to be an intentionally welcoming community where all feel valued, cared for, and connected. We cherish the diversity of gender, age, race, ethnicity, national origin, range of abilities, sexual orientation, gender identity, financial means, education, and political perspective in our diverse community. And it is our joy to pursue this mission, this yet incomplete mission, and we acknowledge that we are located and minister from the unceded land of Wampanoag and Narragansett people. Whether you're here on campus, joining us virtually on Zoom, or watching this service later in the week, please feel the welcoming embrace of this caring community. It is good to be together here in our sanctuary once again. What a good way to begin the new year. Always immeasurably near to each other, regardless of the locations from which we find ourselves. Please note that the service this morning is being recorded and that in a moment we'll be lighting our chalice together. If you are offsite on Zoom and would like to light a chalice with us, now is a good time to grab it and a match. And you're welcome to light your chalice with us and perhaps type into the chat on Zoom the street that you're on as you light the chalice. And if you are visiting with us this morning, new to the congregation, a especially warm welcome to you. You'll find a welcome card in the hymnal that is near your seat. Please take a moment to fill that out. Let us know how to reach you by email and by phone, and we'll look forward to adding you to our distribution list for information about the happenings here at Westminster Unitarian Church. And if you're participating from home, visiting the congregation over Zoom, there will be a link that will appear in the chat that you're welcome to use to fill out a visitor card. Just one announcement this morning, a reminder that there will be a special worship service at 4 p.m. Here on campus later today at dusk. It will be a service of casting away experiences from the past year and from the deeper past, and preparing ourselves for a clean slate in the year that has just arrived. So all are welcome to join us for a bonfire at 4 o'clock outside. Looks like the weather is going to cooperate at 4 o'clock here at Westminster Unitarian Church. Now, the chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. And again, if you are zooming in and have a chalice, now is a good time to grab it and to prepare to light it with us. As we light our chalice, please light yours as well. This morning, we offer simple thanks as we light our chalice. Simple thanks for the circles and cycles of sentience, for the twists and turns of time, for the leaps and laps of living, for the breaths and bends of being. May that be a blessing. Now, how it is that we could possibly have arrived at the year 2023, I can hardly say. For most of my life, reaching the year 2000 seemed impossibly distant and almost inconceivable. And yet, even with that marker, almost half a lifetime in my past, being here in 2023 is almost impossible to believe. And each year, when we cross that threshold, it is good to pause to remember what has come before, where we have been, what we're carrying, and what we have learned, and what we can let go of. What will help us to move into the new year with lightness and with light. One of the beautiful examples of opening words in our hymnal is attributed to Kalidasa, and it has become traditional in many of our congregations to share those opening words on the first Sunday of a new year. Kalidasa was an ancient Indian dramatist and playwright. Kalidasa wrote during the 4th century in Sanskrit, and the message that he shares is timeless and appropriate, especially as the new year turns. He wrote, "Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the realities and truths of existence, the joy of growth, the splendor of action, the glory of power. For yesterday is but a memory, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a memory of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day." And I'd like to invite you to join me in singing our opening hymn. It's number 350 in the gray hymnal, "The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time." The tune will be very familiar to you, even if the title or the lyrics appear not to be. Nonette is going to accompany us on the organ, and I'd like to invite you to join us in body or in spirit as you're able. So if you would please rise as you're able as we join together in singing "The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time." And please join me in stating our unison affirmation that's printed in the order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service our mission. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated. As we gather in community, we carry life's hurts and its great joys, recognizing that joys shared are multiplied and hurts shared can be lightened. We invite you to share your joys and sorrows together in community. If you have a joy or a sorrow that you would like to share this morning, please come forward to the microphone and introduce yourself by name. Share your joy or sorrow briefly, and I'll assist you in lighting a candle over at our joys and sorrows table. You're also welcome to come forward and light a candle in silence if you prefer, as Nonetta accompanies us on the piano for the sharing of joys and sorrows. So if you have a joy or sorrow that you would like to share, please come forward at this time. Would you please join me in a time of reflection and prayer? We offer New Year's thanks this morning because so much could have been otherwise. From life and being to connection and a reason for hope, so much might not be, might not have ever been. And life, even perhaps particularly mortal life, in a new year is a great gift, even with its pain, even knowing the pain of others, even the cost of compassion. For all of this, we offer grateful thanks. And we hold in prayer and remembrance so many who face challenges and difficulties near and far in our families, in our neighborhoods, and in our world. For the people of Ukraine who have struggled all year in the face of onslaught and human rights catastrophes, our empathy and care. For the people, especially the women of Iran, who are putting their lives and safety on the line for the sake of autonomy, of ending structural misogyny, and for the sake of freedom from authoritarianism, we extend our empathy and care. For the people of Jackson, Mississippi, who continue to suffer the pain born of white supremacist policies taking the form of undrinkable water again, our empathy, care, and commitment. For the families and friends of 4 college students in Idaho who lost their lives last year and for whom the police have arrested a suspect, we extend our empathy, care, and compassion. And on this New Year's morning, I am inspired by the righteous, almost religious use of the pardoning power by the President of the United States. May he and all of our political leaders know the power of empathy and care. May they experience true wisdom in their lives and in their decisions as they begin the creation of a renewed government. And may we hear the call for active engagement in the life of our democracy as people of faith, committed, caring, empathetic, and engaged. May that ever be so and especially as we begin this new year. Amen. And would you please remain seated, and let's join together in singing our responsive hymn, Return Again. It's number 1011. UU churches and our ministries are established and sustained by the generosity of our congregations. It is the people of this congregation who create this place, sustain this place, and live the values of this place. One way we sustain this congregation and live our values is to give and receive a morning offering, which we share with a different organization each month that does good works in the community. Our January Share the Plate recipient is Providence's Beautiful Day. Beautiful Day is a gourmet granola company with a mission to help refugees to enter the job market and become welcomed, self-sufficient members of their communities. Helping refugees adjust to life in America by offering paid on-the-job training. Every job company is designed to be part of a hands-on classroom where trainees gain critical skills and the confidence to enter the job market. Throughout January, we'll be providing half of our morning offering to Beautiful Day. The other half of the offering goes to support all of the good work of your congregation here at Westminster Unitarian Church. And so we will now give and receive the morning offering. In front of the chalice this morning, there is a candelabra that holds 3 candles. It's a candelabra that you perhaps may not have seen in a while, although it's one of the cherished artifacts here at Westminster Unitarian Church. And this morning, it is a symbolic representation of the cycles of life. And I will be asking you to participate with me in creating yet clearer symbols from that candelabra. The first candle that is lit now is an old candle. This candle represents light that has already been brought into the world. It represents common and uncommon prophets and sages, friends and family who have died during the past year and in years past. Every one of us here has experienced loss in 2022, some more closely than others, but everyone here is within the community of grievers, even if your grief is in relation to a person that you may never have met, but who profoundly influenced or touched your life. Each year, as we approach endings and beginnings on January 1st, it is spiritually healthy and can even be healing to bring these losses to mind in ritual and in community. And in that spirit, first we share a memorial video reminding all of us of some of the notable people who we may or may not have known in person during the year 2022. The video will appear on your screen.
You're
And with profound appreciation for their sacrifice and immense regret that we have not built paths of peace in our world, we remember the active U.S. military service members who died in service to their oaths in 2022. And in this tumultuous time, we hold the service people deployed around the world in empathy and care. May wiser heads prevail. May the trumpet sound of war cease. May the humble path of humility and understanding overcome the impulse for control, domination, and empire. And may we create a world where everyone is able to safely return home from deployment. And with both horror and humility, we remember that in 2022, 705 mass shootings took place in the United States. That 736 people were killed during these mass shootings, and 2,785 people were wounded. 5 of these mass shootings took place at schools or universities, and 2 in houses of worship. The violent injury to culture and community is of measureless impact for the first responders, for the survivors, for the kin and the lost, we pray. And 22 Unitarian Universalist ministers died last year, and I ask for your witness as I share the names of these dear colleagues who served our faith with lifelong dedication. Reverend Catherine Davis Thomas, Reverend Bruce C. Clear, Reverend Helen Chris Brownlee, Reverend Manuel Robert Holland, Reverend David P. Keyes, Reverend Rob Eller Isaacs, Reverend William M. Weir, Reverend Judy Smith Valley, Reverend Dale Robeson, Reverend Charles Reinhardt, Reverend Bob Senghas, Reverend Charles G. Cast, Reverend W. Mason Olds, Reverend Mark Peters, Reverend Clarence Pete Lasanda, Reverend John Patrick Gaffney, Reverend Kenneth Sawyer, Reverend Mary Louise DeWolf, Reverend Dennis J. Daniel, Reverend A. Edward Frost, Reverend Jean Marie Pupke, and Reverend Ronald Hersom. And for 3 members of Westminster Unitarian Church who passed away in 2022, Henry Sharp, Nance Reeser, and Donald Hampton. And for losses beyond our community, in your families, in my family, losses that have been sharp and deep during the year. For all of these losses, let's hold a moment of profound silence now in remembrance. Between being lost and found is a breaking. It can be a breaking heart. It can be a broken vow. It can be an intention that never landed on solid ground. But the breaking can also be chosen to let go of a weight, to hand over a fear, even to forgive. With each of you who have faced new grief this year very much in mind, we extinguish the flame in the candle that is lit in the candelabra, in symbol of the deaths of those we love, and realizing that now it is our responsibility to carry their light. Would someone from the congregation please come forward and extinguish the candle that's lit? The second candle is also an old candle, but not yet lit. It represents us and our newest children, and the 70 million infants born into the world last year. It represents the living, the billions and billions of people who exist on our planet and struggle to increase harmony and the beauty of experience for everyone. This candle is for us who are currently shining light into the world, those who are stretching with Janice from one year into the next. If that stretching for you brings to mind something that you are ready to leave behind, please bring it to mind. Jot it down on a piece of paper if you can. Bring it with you to the 4 p.m. service where we will cast these slips of paper into the fire, or leave it with me and I will be very glad to cast it away on your behalf. But the new year is not only about what is lost or cast away, it's also about what is becoming in you, what is found. I pray that the year will have tones like the symphony described by William Henry Channing in his poem, My Symphony. He wrote, "To live content with small means, to seek elegance rather than luxury and refinement rather than fashion, to be worthy, not respectable, and wealthy, not rich, to study hard, think quietly, talk gently, and act frankly, to listen to stars and birds, to babes and sages with open heart, to bear all, do all bravely, await occasions, hurry never, to let the spiritual unbidden and unconscious grow up through the common. Let this be our symphony this year. Let this be what finds you. Let this be how you are found. And with those of you who feel the presence of the living strongly in your hearts this morning, we light the second candle of the candelabra. Would someone from the congregation please come forward and light the middle candle in the candelabra? The third place in the candelabra is empty, and this, of course, represents the people that are yet to come, the yet undreamed of and unseen children who will make our hearts overflow with joy and even laughter, who will become the next stewards of the world long after each of us are gone. Our task is to set a stage for them, to create a place where they can stand and proclaim the light that is their birthright, that is their potential, with the dreams of the expected and with a sense of our responsibility for welcoming and companioning them. We set a candle into this holder, yet unlit. Would someone from the congregation please come forward and set the third candle in the candelabra unlit? And let's share a time of silence now as we reflect upon these 3 cycles of life. Shalom. And our closing hymn this morning is number 15 in the gray hymnal, The Lone Wild Bird. The lyrics will also appear on your screen. And if you would please rise in body or in spirit as you're able, as we lift our voices and join together in singing The Lone Wild Bird. In thee. And our closing words this New Year's morning were written by the poet Mary Oliver. To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go. To let it go. May we let it go and begin again in peace. And please join me in singing Carry the Flame as I extinguish our chalice this morning. Carry the flame of peace and love